Would not be funny.
That would hurt you a little bit.
And we are live, Brad.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Here we are, Bob, Brad, and Mike. We're ready to help you with 20 simple things to help you with back pain. I know that was your line, but I took it anyways.
You did. So what we're going to do is go through 20 different things to help with your back pain. Like Brad said, if you have any questions specifically about your back pain, feel free to comment and we will try to answer them.
That's right. There may be so many comments we don't get them all, but we'll do what we can.
Yeah, we'll try to read. Our eyes aren't as good as they used to be.
Right. Should we get on with the show?
I think we'll get on with the show. So number one is if you're having some back pain, a good position you can try and get into is laying down on your back with your feet up.
Lying down.
Lying down.
Yeah, let's
You're
get
going to show it?
Yes. And this is one I've done many times. I've had many patients do it. A chair like this or any chair in the living room where you have some carpeted floor is more comfortable. And you simply lie like this. And what that does is it flexes the hips, takes pressure off that low back, particularly. Where's that pillow? Can I have that?
Here's a pillow.
Yeah, I usually use a pillow. Whatever you're comfortable with. If it works, you will notice immediately. It's because this feels good. Another thing I do once in a while is put a cold pack underneath my back or a hot pack, depending on how you respond. That is your choice, and everyone has a different response to cold or heat. It seems like cold works better in my experience clinically, but it is up to you. And then, Mike, you're talking about using a similar approach with pillows. You can do this on your bed or the floor.
Yeah, now you can see I don't get as much flexion as you do with the chair being bent up as high as Brad was, but you can use two pillows. Or if you find this comfortable, Brad actually has a leg wedge at his house, which he uses.
Yeah. They're not real expensive, and you don't have to buy one by any means. But if pillows work good, this will probably even work better. I've used it with many patients, and I've had patients purchase them after they use them because they are comfortable. But again, use pillows. After your back gets better, you will probably not need them anyway. So
Anita said she needs this today. She woke up with back pain, so we're helping her.
There you go.
There
okay,
we go.
Try the pillows, try the chair, relax.
Now, the next tip is to use ice or heat on your back. If it's an acute injury and you prefer ice, sometimes that feels good. Other times, if it's more chronic low back pain, heat can really feel good. And Brad, you're wearing heat right now.
Right. Probably the deluxe and the deepest heat you can get into your muscles and joints is far infrared. That's what I'm wearing on my back right now. There is a plug for this. Mike threw it away.
I just moved it right here.
Yeah. There you go. So you'll plug it in, and it does go 2.36 inches, which is much deeper than your standard hot pack, which they only go approximately 2 or 3 millimeters, skin deep essentially. So this does work good this way. This one works really well because you can strap it to your shoulders like I did for that upper back, but it works nicely for the low back here. Again, there we go. And it works like that. I use it personally in my recliner watching TV. Leave it on for about 45 minutes. That's the disadvantage of it. It takes a little longer for the heat to get in. So you'll go 45 minutes versus 15 to 20 with a standard hot pack. Do we want to talk about standard hot packs?
Did you already show them the depth on that with the ruler? I don't know where it is.
Oh, Mike. Why these people know
it's right here.
2.36 inches is.
There we go. I found it.
Oh, there you go.
So you got standard heat on the one side and
the blue area. That's how deep it goes. Basically skin deep. And here we go. Look at this. Let me get that up properly.
Now, any type of ice pack, don't hit me with that, works, but there's also things like this heating pad cape, and I'm trying not to wreck my mic. Tanner, am I wrecking the mic?
If you're interested, this is a Thermatex Platinum model. They are more expensive than a standard hot pack, but you get deeper heat. So this is a cape model. This is a nice standard one, and this one actually has weighted edges, so it helps hold the hot pack down so it touches your skin, because you have to have contact in order for the heat to transfer to your skin and whatnot.
Whenever you're using hot packs, be aware if you're just sitting like I am right now, you'll feel the warmth. But if you're laying down or sitting and having more pressure, it's going to be more intense. So just be aware of that.
Yeah.
We do have a question from Kristen you could maybe answer. I have spinal stenosis. Can you move that, Danny? I can't read it now. spinal stenosis with claudication, any exercises I can do?
Well, with the claudication part, I'm not so familiar with. I would need to look into that. But I have spinal stenosis, and typically, almost always, exercises that flex your spine forward are going to be more comfortable and more effective versus an exercise where you're extending backwards. And you probably know this, that if you do things where you're looking up or reaching overhead for any length of time, it's uncomfortable for your back. So it stretches. Here, could you just?
Oh, fine.
Yeah, this is a real typical one for spinal stenosis, especially in the low back, where you bring double knees to chest, hold it for a few seconds in back, or one knee then the other. For me, double knee feels good right now. I feel this is much less pressure on my back than standing for any length of time. And there are more. We've got some great videos on exercises for spinal stenosis. So I hope that helps you out. Was it who was that?
He's moving around. That was Kristen.
Oh, Chris, I'm sorry for the name thing, but this is we're still breaking in. This is a new live for us, and I'm a little camera shy. I'm a little nervous.
Sure. So the next one we're going to talk about is keeping your spine with a natural S curve. Now, maybe we should grab a spine for this so people know
we are prepared
what we're talking
here.
about. So you don't want to show what an S curve is,
right? This we'll look at a spine. They say keep a straight back, and what they really mean, if you look technically at a spine, a healthy, normal, neutral spine, if you look at it from the side, there's a curve in the low back, then the curve in the opposite direction throughout the thoracic or in the mid back by the shoulder blades. And then the neck will curve the other way. So it's kind of an S curve, and that's normal. We need that in our spine so that when it accepts impact, there's a little give to it because of that natural S curve versus if it was straight as can be, it would be more like, through every impact, it's boom, boom, boom. Here we got squishy, squish, squish. The back likes it. It's okay.
So what we mean by keeping that is having good posture when you're sitting or standing. We're going to get in some posture tips later, but oftentimes people will be flexed forward if they're looking at their computer monitor or at their phone. This is obviously my phone right now, or a book.
Oh, you got to fold that phone, a flip phone that opens up for more surface area.
Or some people think they're sitting in good posture, but realistically like this, and I'm super flexed right now. So if you happen to have some worn out cushions on your couch or your recliner, you can try taking a pillow behind there to fill in that gap. Just make sure you have nice, good posture when you're sitting. You could also use a rolled up towel. You could use a pillow with a long version. Anything you have just to fill in that gap to make sure you have a nice S curve and posture is going to save you a lot of back pain.
That was a pretty big towel roll.
Yes.
Most people would probably use a smaller one like this that I've rolled, put some rubber bands or tape around it. It works well. Should I show them my favorite back support?
Sure.
Yeah. Once you figure out what you want, I did this for my car, using a car, and when I go flying in a plane, get better back support. It is a memory foam back support, and it works out really, really well for me. I even have it in my lawnmower because it helps support my back going over the bumpy lawn. So you don't have to purchase one. Use a towel, use a pillow that works well. If you want to get something that's a little more custom that fits better, you can do this. There's so many of these online or wherever you shop that you got to find one that actually works for you. So there's a little education there, something you have to do with trial and error.
We have a lot of people saying hi, so maybe we should say hi back. Hi to Kimberly.
Kimberly, welcome, and we're happy you're here.
TK, Emily, Bryce, and Gil, thank you for joining us on this live. Now, if you have any questions about back pain specifically, feel free to ask. And we're getting one about hips. Well, your hips can affect your back. We're actually going to talk about the hip flexors next, which can relate to your question.
That's a good point.
So a common cause of back pain can actually be tight hip flexors, as I just took away my spine here. But the hip flexors connect into...
They flex your hip. In other words, they lift your leg up like this. It's all hip muscles working right there, hip flexors?
Now, if they are tight, what can happen is it can tilt your pelvis down anteriorly like this, and you can see how much more back extension you have to keep upright. This can cause a lot of back pain, whether it's muscle or disc related or even sciatica. So what we want to do is stretch the hip flexors out. Now, there's tons of ways to stretch your hip flexors, but if you're having back pain, the best way is typically a variation. We can show off the edge of the mat here.
Tons. Is that a technical term? There's tons of ways.
There are tons of ways.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we would say there's quite a few anyways.
So for this variation, this is commonly known as a Thomas test and therapy, but you can just call it a Thomas stretch. Our friend Rick Olderman showed us this. He's a physical therapist. So what you do is lay on the edge of something firm. I have done this on the edge of my bed, but you have to make sure it's tall enough to be able to hang your feet off of and firm enough. If you can get on a kitchen table, go for it. You can also do it there. What we're going to do is start with both knees to your chest. If I'm stretching my left side, I'm going to drop it off the edge. Then I bend my knee back. Now you'll see my hip flexors are a little tight because when I bring this knee towards my chest, it's going to pop up. But you're going to hold this for roughly 30 seconds. And you're going to make sure your leg is in a straight line, not veering out to the side. Once you do one side for 30 seconds, reset. And then you can switch to the other, and you can do that 2 to 3 times a day.
That's right. The big advantage of this hip flexor stretch versus most other ones is it includes the rectus femoris, which actually the way it's located on the pelvis has more torque ability to extend and rotate that pelvis. So when you're here and you push this knee or pull that foot underneath, that specifically gets that muscle, and you will feel it stretch right through here. And be careful with it. Don't get too aggressive the first time.
Now, if you can get to level or below level, you're probably fine. If people are really tight, they're going to be way up here like this. The nice thing about this is your back is supported, so it's not going to bother your back more. And if you can't get on your knees comfortably, whether it's pain in your knees or you just have issues getting on the floor, you can do this variation pretty easily.
And tight hip flexors are very common for people who happen to sit a lot versus walk a lot. So if you are the type of person that sits a lot, whether it's in your car, watching TV, at work, at school, whatever, this stretch is going to be helpful, even as a maintenance stretch.
Beatrice has a question, but it's about hip arthritis. I think we address that in another future video, just because today we're sticking to back pain issues.
Yeah, sorry about that, but this particular stretch, you could see how it
if you
works.
Look up hip strengthening or arthritis videos on Bob and Brad, Beatrice, there's probably thousands of videos on it.
Well, that's a little exaggerated. He's
I like to exaggerate
new,
a little
you
bit.
know. Anyways, let's go on with the next one.
The next thing we want to talk about is also strengthening another hip group, which is the hip abductors, because some people, when the hip abductors or muscles on the side of your hip are weak, you can have issues with your low back as well. So there's a couple of variations of exercises we can do for this, but a simple one you can use with a band. Well, you want to show without a band first?
Sure. Yeah.
Abduction.
Yeah. So I'll do it the backside because you can see the mechanics better. You need to stand up, good posture, hands on a cupboard or back of a chair just for balance. I may use a stick, the Booyah stick, up, good posture. And there's going to be no motion laterally with your trunk. It's all going to happen. I'll work my left leg first, out to the side, back down, and look at my foot. I'm going to rotate it out to the side and do it that way. Do not do that. That's cheating or compensation. Toes straight ahead and down. And if you're really going to be correct and really correct about it, don't let your foot touch the ground. Keep it out, back down. Nice, slow, very deliberate, very good movement. That's really nice. And then make sure you do the other leg as well. 10 repetitions. If it's too easy without resistance, do what Mike did. Get a band like this and he's stepping on it. This works best with shoes. You can do it without, but it helps a lot better.
If you have a loop band or a cuff weight or even just a heavy snow boots, you can use that for resistance as well. The one thing I like to mention that Brad didn't say is the stationary leg standing. I have it knee bent. It's going to make your muscles work harder than if your knee is locked out. So what happens is most people do one side and they go, that's not bad. And then they switch and they're like, oh, this leg is still working, keeping me upright. I'm like, yes, that's what that does. So you're going to get tired on both sides. Do 2 to 3 sets. You can do 10 to 15 reps and just progress over time.
All right. I see another question on our stenosis, and DDD. I'm assuming they're talking about
Degenerative disc disease.
disc disease, which is pretty much everyone once you get to be my age to a certain degree. Again, motions forward with the stenosis exercise. You wouldn't want to do the exercise too aggressively that Mike was showing. Let your leg down unless you really have good support here. If it bothers your back, that exercise was probably not effective for you. Again, single knee to chest, double knees to chest. There is more. There's a lot of core exercises where you're flexing forward. Bringing your knees up like this, or doing this where you're flexing the back, strengthening the anterior or the core muscles in your stomach.
Most of these hip strengthening exercises some people are asking relate to their specific back diagnosis. Many of these work for any back diagnosis. The biggest thing is either stenosis or herniated disc. Typically, flexing or extending your spine is going to make it worse. Just be aware of that. But a lot of these tips we're showing on here can work for any generalized back pain issues.
These are general tips. You need to try them. And if you do not experience relief right away, it's not for you. Back pain is something you don't use that rule. No pain, no gain. That's not true. If it creates pain, then it's not the right exercise or the right treatment for your back. It should relieve it while you're doing the exercise as well as afterwards.
I'm going to get into the next exercise and I need the mat.
So,
pardon me, sir.
Yeah, I was going to take a nap.
I know you were. So the next one is working on strengthening your glutes. We can show a variation standing because a lot of people are uncomfortable on their knees. So what you do to strengthen your glute muscles, if your glutes aren't firing properly when you're walking or standing, typically what can happen is your hips get tight, which can cause issues in your low back like we talked about earlier. So what you're going to do is some glute pumps. You go on your elbows and knees. If I'm working my right leg here, I'm going to kick it up, but I'm not going to do a normal glute pump or mule kick or whatever other nicknames they have for this. We're going to kind of go part way, kind of in the center. Then if to isolate the glute more, I'm going to turn my foot in, and then I'm just going to do little oscillations. We're going to go for 30 reps. If you can only do 5, 10 at a time, that's okay. Just take a break and then go back to it. Once you do one side, make sure and switch and do the other. Again, if this feels easy to you, you can use a type of loop band or cuff weight on your leg for more resistance.
I just want to mention this exercise is really helpful to do in coordination with the hip flexor stretch. So stretch your hip flexors like we went through before and do this one because those are two opposing muscles and you stretch one, strengthen the other. It can be a really good complement of two exercises.
A psoas exercise. Well, we showed how to stretch the psoas. Yeah, we're going to show the standing variation.
Oh, yes. Yes, if lying down or on all fours like Mike was doing is not comfortable for you, you want to do a version standing up against a cupboard or a tabletop like this. You can go on your forearms or your hands and flex the knee. I'm going to work on the right gluteus right now and do that same thing. We're not going way up like we're trying to kick as high as we can, and we're not going up so our knee comes close to the chair. It's that mid-range. What are you laughing at?
You're just kneeing the whole table. Giving me an earthquake. I'm sitting on this.
Didn't hurt me. I'm tough. Anyways, so we're doing this range of motion for up to 15 to 30 seconds. Again, if you rotate like this, it isolates that glute maximus even more. If you want to put some weights around your leg or knee for more resistance, you certainly can. But if you do this, you'll probably be fine if you're doing it properly. We got some technical.
I'm just trying to read the TikTok questions.
Oh, yeah, we don't want to forget that.
Here. Is that better to do standing when compared to lying? I'm assuming they were talking about the hip abduction. It doesn't matter, Liz, if you are comfortable doing that lying.
You think that's a Liz that works for us?
Well, it's a Liz K. It might be, but I don't think it's the right one. There's a Canadian flag on there. She didn't specify, but I'm presuming she means hip abduction. So, yeah, if you're doing hip abduction like this is perfectly fine. You actually have to fight gravity this way. It's more challenging.
But actually, the benefit of doing it standing, you're not only strengthening the leg that's moving, but you're strengthening the hip that has the weight bearing. So you're getting double. Yeah, and you could do it that way.
I'm getting double.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. So let's get back to the other questions. Where are we? Oh, soft knee walking is our
Yeah,
next.
soft knee walking. It's not what it sounds like. It's a nice, simple way to walk, and it will take stress off of your knees, your hips, as well as your low back.
So soft knee walking, what you're going to want to do to try this out is, if it helps with your back pain, first off, do this in your house and take your shoes off, because most shoes have elevated heels nowadays, so they're not going to help. So what you're going to do is walk with a bent knee.
Why do you have to show your legs like
so
that,
they can
Mike?
see my bent knees.
It's not
and my
impressive.
really bad tan lines right now because we're in the Midwest and we don't have much sun here. So walk around how you normally would, but what I want you to do is place your hands on your buttocks and feel how much your glutes are engaging. So if you're a heel striker, go ahead, walk around. Brad, you're in my way.
I know, but I'm going to point. I'm going to help out. I want to be part of the video.
So walk around with your normal walking, and then I want you to do the exact opposite and go up on your tiptoes and walk, and now feel how much your glutes are engaging. You should feel them firing a lot more and engaging more, which is what you want. Now, I realize
you look really silly.
Most people aren't going to walk around with their hands on their butts on their tippy toes like this, except for Bob used to kind of do it in his neighborhood, but he can't yell at me. He's right there.
You could get away with it.
So what you want to do is, when you take a step, instead of heel striking, putting your foot way out in front of you, having impact forces go through your ankle, knee, hip, and then into your low back, just take a nice soft knee or flat foot step here and walk around like this. You should feel it engaging your glutes more, including your glute medius and maximus, as well as your quads, and taking pressure off your joints. Did I forget anything?
No, I think that was done very well. Thank you. So soft knee. I just that 4-foot walking. It's like your kung fu. Any older people watch that movie Kung Fu.
You will walk quieter.
He walks on the rice
weird.
paper, and there's not even a wrinkle in it because he's soft walking.
A heating pad you can use, Joanne, as long as it's comfortable. They typically turn off automatically after a while. Doesn't the Thermatex one?
The Thermatex one, I do not think that has a timer on it. No.
Oh, some of them. Oh, yeah, you can use it for 45 minutes. That's fine, as long as it's feeling comfortable. Typically with ice, you want to use it for 20 minutes and then take it off. And then once the tissue heats up again, you can ice again later.
Right. Just if you use a cold pack, don't put it directly on your skin. You should have a layer, at least one layer of clothing.
We keep looking at ourselves on the screen, and our cameraman keeps telling us, look at the camera. We apologize if we look like we're staring off into nowhere. We're getting used to this. What's the next tip? Lift with your spine straight and knees apart.
This is the same old thing you've heard from years ago, maybe in gym class at my age. They didn't teach proper biomechanics.
I'm going to get this really pretty colored football here.
That's a winner there.
To reach over for, one more than the Packers last year.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
What we're talking about is most people, and they don't pay attention, they pick something up. They round their spine. They're like this. Their feet are rather straight. Look how much force I'm putting on my spine right now, how much flexion I'm having.
And he doesn't have good balance.
Anything like a herniated disc, this is going to make your problems worse. And then you see him pick them up like this and slowly round up. That's going to bother your back a lot. So some tips to do is lift with your legs and a flat back. So what we mean is widen your base of support, maybe point your toes out a little bit. And then as I come down, see how my back is straight now and I'm not rounded.
Right.
So go down and then pick it up like this. Now, if you're struggling and you feel unsteady,
you're not. There you go. See, I got to stay on them.
Anyway, if you're unsteady like that and you want to hold on to something, you can do, what do we call it? The golfer's lift?
Golfer's lift is,
it's like when you're getting your golf ball out of the
little hole.
The hole. Yeah, I frisbee golf. I don't regular golf. So what you do is you actually hinge. So I kick my one leg back, my other leg stationary, and notice how my back is straight. And I reach down and come back up. This is another safe way you can kind of pick something up. Or again, you can just squat down with holding support if you feel unsteady. But it's going to be a lot better on your back than rounding over. Do we have any other questions? Or going to the next tip?
Well, I was going to say, if you want to use a stick like this and hold it so your head's touching, it's touching your mid-back and your butt, and you maintain those 3 points of contact, walk around like that in the house, squat down like that, it is a really good way to give you muscle memory and educate your spine to be in a good neutral position with walking and bending.
Danny, my mouse died. I can't move anything right now.
There was a question there about scoliosis. There are some specific exercises for that. We're not going to get into it here because it's very specific and it take a while to go through that. But there are some exercises for that, and I would look at that. I think we have one video on that. Bob and
Okay,
Brad scoliosis.
our next tip, we're only on number 9. Boy, we
got
to
to
be
get
a long
going.
live. Next one is decompress your spine using a bench or countertop. So what we mean by this is if you have a herniated disc, this typically will help, or sciatica. So decompressing the spine means lengthening the space between the discs. So we have vertebrae and we have discs. So this red one, say that's your herniated disc. Ouch, it hurts. Sometimes we get a little bit of separation and space in there. It can feel better. Now we realize if you're up and about walking around, maybe you can't do that as easily. So you could use a park bench, countertop, whatever you have at work, or when you're out and about, you can use that instead.
All right, so on a countertop, go like this, keep your elbows locked, and now I take the weight off of my legs. It's going through my arms. I'm relaxing my stomach muscles and my core and getting that decompression through my low back. Something taller like this can work as well. So just there we go, adjusting yourself. And this is a little wobbly here, so this isn't going to work the best. So something solid is much better.
We should mention if you're at home and you can hang, or if you're at a gym and you can hang, you can also decompress your spine this way as well.
All right. This is my go-to. I use this on a regular basis for maintenance, just allowing things to relax. Go down slowly. If you have to jump up to it, hang quickly, that's not a very desirable way to do it. Like this, really take it slow and relax.
And his feet are still on the ground. You don't have to hang with your feet off because that's going to put more stretch.
Right. You may be able to, particularly after you've done it a while and you get used to it and you know your body.
Now, tip number 10 is similar to an earlier tip about keeping the S curve in your spine. So what we mean by that is in your vehicle, you can use something in your lumbar support. Some modern vehicles have adjustable lumbar support. Some of them are electronic, some of them are manual. Mess around with that first if you get back pain while driving. Also mess around with the height of your seat because that can make a big difference too. If you're sitting too low, your hips are really flexed. This is going to strain your back more versus sitting taller up in the vehicle. But there's some options of simply using a towel roll, a small throw pillow. We have some McKinsey pads here, actually.
These are if you got a hollowed out seat in your car and the lumbar doesn't adjust to fill that gap. You can use a throw pillow, regular pillow. These are more specific if you really need some specific support in the low back, right on the belt line or above. This is a larger one. This is going to be for a larger person, more than likely to get that much. Again, this is the one I use. It supports the low back more and all the way up. Works great for me once again. But I highly recommend using pillows of different shapes and sizes or a towel roll to figure out what works best for you.
Joanne, above that, Danny, had a question about iliopsoas stretching. We showed that earlier, so Joanne, you can actually rewind this while watching live. If you look for me hanging my feet off, we said stretching your hip flexors. That is your iliopsoas. That's the same area we're talking about, so you could just do that stretch. And we have another question from Susan. How many times per day should you do the basic back stretches? Can you do them on your bed, on your knees, are not happy? You can do them on the bed. That's fine. Whatever's comfortable position for you. Sorry, I keep looking at the screen and not the camera. You can do them each day as long as they feel good for you. There's nothing wrong with doing them every day. Should we get on to the next tip?
The next one is computers set up at the workstation. The laptop is gone. I thought we were going to use that one.
We can use this one right over here. How about I grab this one?
Yeah, Bob doesn't need to.
Bob's going to
put him down so he watches the ceiling.
Bob's going to watch the ceiling temporarily. We'll be right back, Bob.
Okay, so generally your seat, if it does not go up and down and your feet are not touching the floor, you cannot lower your chair. Take a pillow or a pad like this so that your feet are supported. The weight of your legs is supported by the floor or a cushion. or a block. If your feet or if it's too low and your knees are up like this because you're a taller person, if you can't raise the seat up, get a cushion or a pillow, put it under here. It's just the opposite. And now I'm comfortable. Things look good. The next big thing that people always, not always, but oftentimes get wrong is the level of the screen. This is going to make me go like this and get down in here so I can see.
Look at your nice spine right now.
After about 20 minutes of this, you're going to have a neck ache, headache, shoulder ache, whatever. Something's going to hurt. So we need to set up good tall posture right across. Actually, we don't even have enough blocks for this.
I would need a lot of books. Maybe the leg wedge can help
There
temporarily.
you go.
Whatever you have. Obviously, this is a mat table, not a. How about that?
Whoa, that's a little too high, Mike.
Too high.
There we go.
How that?
What I did when I bought my screen is I had one that goes up and down. You know, it just zip, zip, zip.
Yeah, and you're going to need a separate keyboard and mouse for this. But
we don't want this.
As people that have struggled with laptop use over the years, I think we can concur that we've fixed a lot of our neck pain, headaches, and upper back pain by just changing our workstation.
Exactly.
We even had a coworker that was still sitting on her couch doing it, so we scolded her a little bit.
Yeah, there'll be none of that.
Our next tip, where are we? I'm losing my spot. Walk with good posture. Oh, okay, I know what we're talking about. So we already talked about soft knee walking. So when you're walking, if you tend to be a person you notice who kind of hunches over forward a little bit, whether that's just from poor posture over years, maybe you're slightly kyphotic or have a forward rounded spine, what you can try and do is take your hands behind your back. You can interlace them either which way. Grab your wrist, and notice once I grab my wrist, what that's going to naturally do is want to pull my posture upright. So when you're walking, if you notice you're kind of slouched forward, put your hands back here. Think about opening up your chest and your shoulders, and then continue walking for a block or so. Then you can relax because most people are going to walk like this all day. But if you catch yourself starting to round forward again, just think about reaching back, grabbing your wrist like this, and then just keeping nice upright posture.
Yeah, it's kind of the thinking posture. People think you're thinking deep in thought, solving problems.
You look so philosophical right now.
Exactly.
We have a question from Rita. For the hanging stretches, the spine exercise, how many minutes each day? 10 minutes? Typically with that, you just do what you can tolerate. I mean, holding for 30 seconds, like 3 times is plenty adequate. Sometimes Dr. Kirsch for shoulder stuff is that people hang for 10 minutes. So it's personal preference what you can do. Obviously, your feet supported, you can grip longer. If you're just hanging with no support on your legs, your grip's going to get pretty tired. So just go what's comfortable for you, and you can just build up your duration over time. There's no real hard limits with that.
Right. Personally, what I do, I'll hang 15, 30 seconds at the max, and I'll let loose, maybe do that 2, maybe 3 times. And that can be done 2 or 3 times a day. Really, again, it should be comfortable. It should feel like a good stretch. I always look forward to it. I know it's good for my shoulders as well as my back.
Adriana wants to know, do you think a yoga ball for a desk job is beneficial? I'm assuming you mean as a chair.
Right. The bigger one. Yeah.
As long as you have good posture and your back's not I keep looking at the wrong thing. As long as you have good posture with it, you are comfortable, your back doesn't get fatigued, it's fine. You're going to work your core a lot more. I mean, I don't know if I want to sit on a yoga ball for 8 hours a day.
We did a video specifically on this quite a few years ago. I've tried it. I don't care for it.
I still got in bad posture even with something like that.
It is one of those things you can try it. You'll know because it'll make you feel good while you're doing it. I don't know. We're up in the air on that. I don't know if there's studies done recently on that as well.
I have not looked at any studies. Our next tip is using a full pillow for back support in your office chair. Well, I kind of talked about this earlier a little bit, but we can rehash it, I guess, since that was a long time ago. So,
well, this is the idea of using specifically a full-length pillow versus a throw pillow.
Yeah.
So you'd put it in like this and use it here. And like when I use it, it just feels good. It gives a lot of cushion support. And it's oftentimes more of a reminder. It's not that it's giving direct support, but it reminds me to keep my posture and good, proper, neutral position without having to think about it. It's kind of one of those
This can be
secondary.
really beneficial if your chair has a really deep seat pan. Now, if you have like a nice office chair, oftentimes you can adjust the seat pan depth and you don't have issues with that. But most common chairs like this, or even couches, they're too deep and people get those rounded postures. So having the full pillow vertical like that can really help. Now, our next tip is stretching. Oh, so we're going to do another stretch, kind of like the hanging stretch, but a variation.
You like that word variation.
Yeah,
I like to say options.
Well,
Anyways, Mike's going to pull our doorway out. While he's doing that,
it's noisy.
There's two ways to do this stretch. You can use a doorway if you're the right height, or you can use a pool stick, a nice stick from a mop handle or something of that nature, piece of PVC or the booyah stick. You put it on a tabletop or a cupboard. Put your hand up here so you're looking at the back of your hand, and I'm going to give this a stretch. I'm going to lean and look at my knees. I'm going to bend my knees. The hand stays clinched to the stick and it stretches one side. Typically, if you have pain on your left side of your back, you will stretch with the left hand like this. And if you lean a little bit, that can give you a little more. Oh, yes. Actually, this is a really nice stretch. As a matter of fact, I just read a comment this week. Did you see that, Mike? On a person that did the stretch, had back pain on one side for a number of months, couldn't figure out how to get rid of it, did this stretch, and it took care of it. Voila. So there you go. Mike, you want to show how to use the door?
Yeah, I want to open the door. Brad built this himself, by the way. He's really proud of it.
I've got them all over my house. Makes me feel good.
Your wife must get so confused where you are.
Exactly. I can hide anywhere.
So just for showing purposes, I'll say it's my right side. So what you can do is grab a door frame top like this. Make sure it's secured and good. Or you can use a pull-up bar, whatever you have available at your house. And then we're going to do the same thing, except for we're just going to drop the knees. And then I'm going to lean into the doorway. And you're going to get more of a stretch. Notice my feet are still touching. Obviously, you can't hang from a door frame. You're going to break something on, well, the door anyway. So just hold this 15, 30 seconds. You can do it 2 to 3 times a day. You can do it all at once. You can do it anytime you go through the doorway, anytime you're having pain. This can just be a more beneficial way if your back pain is more on one side in comparison just to hanging with both arms.
Right. Again, just be notice what's going on with your trim. We've got a door here that we were doing it with, and the trim came off. It wasn't put on very well.
You didn't build that door.
No. No. I would have put Elmer's glue. Oh.
So a lot of these tips we're talking about correlate with sciatica. Sorry, I'm over here. People can't see me on the main
Well, actually,
camera.
the stretch we just did with the stick or the door, sciatica down the left leg, you would do this with your left arm up. That can offer some relief for that. If it makes the leg pain better while you're doing it, it's good. If it makes it worse, or if the pain seems to be going down towards the foot, then it's not the right thing to do, and you have to go to a different option or exercise.
A lot of the tips through the whole video all relate to sciatica as well. Just try them all out. If they work for your back, then do it. If it makes your pain worse, then don't, because different back conditions are going to have different results from stretches.
Right. A lot of it can depend on your age as well as how the injury occurred. Sometimes and oftentimes it's without any obvious mechanism of force. It's just over time as a result of poor posture and poor lifting mechanics.
Now, our next tip, which is tip 18, is if you are in a flex forward position for whatever reason, whether you're standing or you're seated like this, and you're like this for half an hour or an hour or so, or say you're a mechanic working on in the hood of a car like this is what I always think of. You want to go the opposite direction because you've been flexed for so long.
There you go.
And it probably doesn't feel good. So the opposite of flexion is extension. So you can do this standing or laying down and just go the opposite direction. And I like to grab at my waistline and kind of push back. You can even use a bed sheet or a towel roll as well for this. I like to do that. A bed sheet's a little better. That's a small towel. If you had a bigger towel, but just put it there and then arch back and you can work your way up your spine.
That's right. I really like this one. And you're going to do this as long as it feels good. Like if if you're going to go on a long car ride, this would be a good thing to do before you get into the car. And when you get out, you burn up 300 miles and you need more gas, make sure you do this while you're filling up at the gas station. Watch the pump fill up the tank and stretch. It's multitasking.
Watch all your money go away.
There you go. No, it really is. It's a legitimate exercise to do after sitting for long periods of time.
Now, the next tip is from our friend Rick Olderman, who's a physical therapist. And this one I've done when I've actually had back pain running before, and it works. Well, surprisingly, it seems silly, but it works.
Well, maybe.
So when you're walking, standing, or running.
Well, show it to us. Show it.
If you have one-sided back pain, stick your arm up in the air. What this is going to do is lift your rib cage, keep your pelvis down, because some people have what Rick likes to call a side bending problem. So your ribs are depressed, your hips are elevated. This can cause back pain. It can cause a lot of pain anywhere, hip, knee, anything else.
Blah, blah, blah. Get going.
Blah, blah, blah. So what we want to do is actually straighten it up. So if you just walk for roughly 5 to 10 steps with your hand up in the air like this, then you can do 5 to 10 steps with your hand behind your head, and then try to keep that position as you continue to walk or run or stand. And oftentimes the muscles will kind of re-lengthen again, and it doesn't cause as much pain. I know it seems silly, but it typically works.
Yeah, it doesn't seem silly, but it looks silly if you're walking around like this. But again, yeah, if things take the pain, make the pain better, things dissipate, feeling better, continue to do it. You're doing the right thing. Listen to your body.
And what is our last tip? Oh, sleeping positions. We could probably get into a few of them, and then we can go through some of the questions we did not answer before that were asked. So, sleeping positions for back pain.
Well, he's messing around there. I see someone's asking about bone density exercises for osteoarthritis. Bone density walking can be all you need to get some weight bearing through your body. That can be a really good one. There are a lot of exercises, specific ones you can do that we're not going to get into with this particular video.
Yeah, any type of resistance training, or if you go to Bob and Brad and go to just search Sarah Meek's program.
Yes.
She did a whole program for us. She's a PT and expert in osteoporosis. She has tons of exercises, stretches. It's all free, or you can find it at bobandbrad.com in the program section as well. There's like 15 videos or something.
Yeah,
there's
and
a lot.
She is an expert. Meeks, Sarah Meeks, Meeks, and you'll look there, particularly if you're an older person and you think the exercise is going to be too hard. She's older. She's like in her 80s, and she actually caters really well to that population.
She's wise.
She's older,
you don't call
and
people old. You call them wiser. Okay.
I
can you give me the leg wedge, please?
Oh, this one?
Yeah, so we talked about this a little earlier, but we'll just hit it again quick for sleeping position. So if you're a back sleeper, sometimes having your spine flexed a little bit like this can give you some relief. You can either use 2 pillows stacked vertically like this next to me. Brad's not helping.
Well, I'm trying to read the questions because, I care what people want to know.
So you can either use a pillow or 2 like that,
yeah,
and my legs would be on it, or if you have a wedge, make sure it's a leg wedge, not the triangle wedges, because those are for your upper body.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know if they know what you're talking about, but
that's a leg wedge.
Yeah, the triangle one goes all the way here, and yeah, that's for other
I need my pillows back. Can I have 2 pillows,
please? Yes. I'm going to go read some comments.
Now tuck me in. So if you're a side sleeper, what you can do is oftentimes people, or like me, I'll be sleeping like this, and then my spine will start rotating, and then I'll be sleeping like this, which is a lot of spinal rotation. If you're having back pain, this is going to make things more annoyed. So if you put a pillow between your knee, it can keep your hips in a better position, and it kind of prevents you from rolling over onto your spine more like that. So it keeps me in a good position, nice and neutral in the back, and decreases any pain. If you're a stomach sleeper, there's not a lot of tips for that with back pain. If it feels good, do it. If it doesn't, then don't.
Right. If you want to stay in your stomach and it hurts, try putting a pillow underneath your stomach.
Oh, yes.
And don't get off of that, because we've got a question that you need to be lying down.
Just like this. So sometimes what this does is it doesn't make you extend as much. It allows your back to flex a little bit.
Maybe just go with 1 pillow.
I like 2 pillows.
Well, see, and I
gotta fold it up.
He is a stomach sleeper, so he's
everything sleeper. So yeah, if you just place the pillow there, you can see if that helps as well. But
All right.
all right,
We want to go to Crafty Demon. I think I pronounced that right. Wondering about strengthening your back if you need to stay in bed or whatnot for long periods of time. So let's do some bed exercises for your core and back. You can do some strengthening and stretching. Let's start
So
on your
stretching,
back.
a lot of people like doing for stretching. A good one is low trunk rotations. So what you're going to do is try to bend both knees as far as you comfortably can, and then you're going to go side to side. Brad likes to say like your windshield wiper. Now, one side may be tighter than the other side, so just go as far as you comfortably can. If that's only a few degrees like this, that's fine. If you can get all the way down to the edge of the bed, you can certainly do that. But just go 10 directions each way. Another one you can try, if you found that putting pillows underneath your feet were comfortable like I had before, oftentimes just bringing one knee up to your chest feels pretty good, and you can stretch like this. You can hold it for 30 seconds, do it 2 to 3 times on each leg. If you notice they both feel good individually, you can certainly save time and just do both at the same time like this.
Right. And again, the key word is comfortable. These should be comfortable or feel good. Don't do them if they hurt. The only exception is if, for example, doing the windshield wipers, ow, it hurts. Ow, it hurts. But then you gently do it 2 or 3 more, and all of a sudden, oh, the pain is starting to go away. Then you can do some more as long as it's going clearly the right direction, is getting better. If you're just pushing into it, like, I'm going to push through the pain, that's not the right approach.
Now, something you can try for strengthening, if you're having a lot of pain, you often want to just work on stretching first and calm your pain down, because oftentimes strengthening can just make it worse. If you are calmed down enough or want to try, you can do some glute bridges. So yes, it works your buttock, but it also works your low back. For beginners, just place your hands on the mat. You try to squeeze your butt cheeks first to initiate them, and then try to lift your hips or pelvis towards the ceiling. Go as far as you comfortably can. Some people may only go part way, especially if they're weak. Try to go up as far as you comfortably can, hold for a few seconds, and then come back down. You can do 10 reps if you can tolerate it. To progress this, if this seems too easy, you can just take your arms away, use your body more. You can do this much more challenging by holding this for 30 seconds. You can also do one-legged ones, which is much more advanced.
That's hard.
Or you can even put a small loop band around both knees, work on pulling apart while you're engaging them. But that's a simple exercise you can do in bed. Do we want to talk about a prone press up if you have a herniated disc?
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a question on here about that's going to relate to what we're looking at here. Core exercises in the front, the bicycle where you're lying on your back.
Sure.
You do that one very often?
I've done it before, yeah. So what you want to do is, a lot of people when they do this, they go all the way and they bend their spine a lot and they twist it a lot.
That's not the bicycle.
What bicycle are you talking about?
Yeah.
You want to do your
like
bicycle?
You're pedaling a bicycle.
You do your bicycle. My bicycle is different than yours.
Well, who's asking
Maybe
this?
you ride a unicycle.
What is the person's name? Anita. I was thinking she meant this, where you do that abdominal core and you're like pedaling a bicycle like this.
I was imagining the arms are moving as well. So
right. And that's actually a good exercise too. But this is what I was thinking. I think this is a great exercise for the core. If the back feels good while you're doing it, do it. If it's irritating your back, you don't. You follow the same basic rules. But if you want to do the exercise Mike showed where you're actually crossing, gets the oblique muscles, which is a more comprehensive or complete abdominal exercise. So that can be a good option as well.
We had another question, but Danny moved it, so now I can't see where it was.
Oh, you were talking about doing prone press-ups.
Oh, we can do some prone press-ups.
Yeah,
sure.
This is exercise by Robin McKenzie, who has used this for years. I've used this exercise with people with herniated disc and sciatica. It works.
So, can you hear me now? Okay. Bump my button.
Little tech
so
stuff.
If you have a herniated disc, this is often an exercise we try. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But what you want to do is lie flat on your stomach, and then slowly start pressing up. So for beginners, if you're real sensitive, just go on your elbows. Maybe this is enough. Just hold it here for 5-10 seconds, go back down, and you can try doing that 10 times. If this feels easy and tolerable, what you can try to do is use your hands and actually push up as far as you comfortably can. Maybe it's just here, then back down. Or you can work on eventually going all the way up if you can tolerate it. Just notice that my pelvis bones here are connected. I hope they're not connected. They're touching the mat. And we're not lifting up like this, because then you're not going to work on your back extension. What this can help do is actually push the herniation back in if it's protruding slightly. Now, if you have a really bad, what do you call those? Beyond protrusion, there's other terms.
Sequestered?
Yes, sir. Sure. If it's really bad, this isn't going to help much,
Right.
but this is a good option to try. And we can show if it's one-sided, say it's my right side, there's a version called roadkill.
Right.
So I flex this knee
But
up.
before we go too much farther, Mike, we have to go back to here. The way you know if this is getting better for sciatica, in other words, you have pain, numbness, tingling going down your leg towards your foot, is while you're doing this, if the leg starts to feel better and it feels like the pain is going up, positive sign, continue to do it. If you do this and the pain went down to your knee, and after a couple of repetitions of that, the pain's all the way down to your ankle, then you stop. It is not the appropriate. Then I would definitely go to Rick's exercise, get on the door, or use the stick and see which you'll probably have better luck that way. So everything works together here.
I will say, when mine bothered me and I did prone press ups, it kind of went into my butt and my low back. And when I did it, my low back actually hurt more the next day, but I didn't feel it in my butt. And then later that week, it was pretty much gone.
Sure.
So it kind of felt intense the next day and a little sore, but then it was good. So I kind of knew it was working.
Right. So yeah, we want the pain to migrate to that center low back, just as Mike explained his situation. So that's called centralization. And then the roadkill. I've had a lot of luck with this with patients.
Yeah.
And I think you had good luck with this, didn't you?
Yeah. So it's the same concept. You just bring the painful side, you bring the knee up as far as you comfortably can, and then you just do the press ups the same way. You normally can't get quite as high because your hip is flexed, but you just go up to what you comfortably can. Now, Dixie has a question. Interested in learning to become a back sleeper. Used to be a side sleeper, but my hip hurts now. What you could try is what we kind of already talked about, because when you're side sleeping, oftentimes your knees are flexed like this. So what you can do is just flex your knees while you're lying on your back. So again, just use a couple pillows underneath your legs like this and try that out. See, now my knees are bent and I'm flexed. So this is kind of like a side lying position, but on your back.
And another way to help train you to stay on your back after you fall asleep, because you inherently roll one side to the other.
To get a big strap and tie it around.
Well, we don't talk about that one on video. Actually, put your legs down. What are you doing there?
I don't know. What are we doing?
We're going to put one pillow here, one pillow here. It's usually comfortable with your arms. And when you roll, the pillow actually gets in the way and can remind
you don't even need a blanket. You can just use pillows.
Well, no. But I've used this for so I stay on my side, because sometimes I want to stay on one of my sides because of a shoulder problem. But a pillow will be a reminder when you roll over and the pillow's in the way while you're still sleeping. Your mind can say, "Oh," and then get you back on your back. So it's one way to help train yourself. Doesn't always work, but it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, you could also do a body pillow or a couch on one side.
Right.
You can't roll the one way, just to try it out, in a pillow on one side, but it's just an option.
Couch sleeping can be a really good way to teach you from not rolling, because one side there's the couch in the way and the other side is the floor about 2 feet below you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to fall off, and it's amazing how you don't.
Are there any major questions we didn't get to?
Is that a question?
Is the kid Bob's grandson? I am not Bob's grandson. No, is that what they're asking? I didn't get his tall genes. No, Bob doesn't have any grandkids yet. He does have a son though, and he's very tall as well.
Oh, did you talk about putting the pillow between the legs?
Yeah, one sideline. You were reading questions.
Yeah. What else?
Well, I think we hit most of them. Many of these things, again, depending upon your condition, just try them out. You can rewind. The video will stay up. You can watch it later as well. If you're on Facebook, it's on YouTube. Or if you're on TikTok, you can find it on Bob and Brad's YouTube channel as well. There, we will be back next Tuesday. We're going to be doing these Tuesdays from now on at 10 a.m. We'll be live. We'll pick a subject matter. If you have questions, feel free to ask like we did. And then we're going to have some topics that we're just going to generally kind of talk about.
Yeah, and we'll get better on stage. We've got Tanner's doing an excellent job back there, and Danny is trying. They're all helping us out, and we're making their job a little more challenging. So we'll get better.
So stay tuned for next week's. If you have any questions or any of the products we talked about, you can find them in the description or comments below, and we'll be back next week.
And remember, we can fix just about anything except for
a broken heart.
Yep, and we've been working on it for years, and now we're going to get at it again. I'm going to get in the garage, and I'm going to use
I don't know if hearts belong in the garage.
That's where I fix things, is in the garage, and it works for everything. I'm going to try. I didn't do that enough last time I made
Next
this
time,
effort.
do knee problems.
Enjoy the day. Hope your back feels better.
Hello, TikTok.